My name is Jake Newport, and I'm the managing director at Finnmark Sauna. I just realised there's a clicker here. So I should actually add a clause there. There are some really amazing saunas, and there's a lot of people working really hard to try and educate the public. The amazing thing about being here is that the message seems to be quite consistent and quite clear, which is really positive for us, because I've kind of come here to say exactly what you guys have been saying, which is so refreshing. In some ways, I'm going to have to apologize because this message is going to sound very familiar. But for example, the British Sauna Society is working really hard to sort of encourage proper sauna experiences. There's also Katie, who we've heard from, doing Beach Box Brighton. That's a tongue twister. Who's also encouraging sort of proper Finnish sauna experience, which is really great. So who am I? As I said, my name's Jake Newport. I run Finnmark Sauna. We exist to bring Finnish sauna to the UK market, and we differentiate ourselves very clearly from a lot of other companies within the United Kingdom because we are insistent upon the quality and the experiential benefit of authentic Finnish sauna, rather than what English people have come to call sauna. Our mission is to create really high quality saunas that are durable, and all of our materials are sourced from Finnish companies that make and design here in Finland, not in the Far East, not in Eastern Europe, but in Finland. And we use techniques like virtual reality, immersive 360-degree virtual reality to design and execute our sauna building. So people get to see exactly what their sauna is going to look like before a single board is laying, before they spend any money at all, as I've just said. And of course, most importantly, I'm a sauna enthusiast. I'm incredibly enthusiastic. I live and breathe for sauna, and this is actually a sauna we built at my family home in the Lake District. As you can see, it's a wood-burning traditional sauna. And I think this is really important that there are many industries that somebody could work in to make a lot of money or to profit from. If you're going to come and work in the sauna sector, you have to believe in the product you are selling. It's not just a commercial product, it's an experience. It's very much a way of life. And when you do it right, everybody here knows this already, it's so good, right? I'm preaching to the choir, but you all know it. So why am I here? Well, if you didn't get from the title, I'm going to play a little game with you guys so you can see if you can guess why exactly I'm here. You know, I've finished with the sales pitch and the board meeting is over, and now we're on to the real mission, the real reason why we're here. So I'm going to show you some questions that we get quite commonly in the United Kingdom. And from speaking to some of you guys, this is not isolated to the UK. This is actually a problem that exists outside of Finland and some places, you know, very close to home. So question one, sauna. Is that how you say it? So as I've even heard here at the World Sauna Forum, people using the word sauna. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we were listening to people talking about how you pronounce people's names. It's a sign of respect to pronounce something the way that it should be spoken in a language. And I think you dilute the importance of what we are all here to do when people say sauna. And what we've found is that it's not because people say, oh, well, this is how it should be said in English. Most of our clients simply didn't know. And after we speak to them, they realize that they've been saying it wrong. And they want to change. They want to be educated, as so many people here do. Question two, why do we need stones? Yeah, I thought that would get a laugh. But actually, most saunas in the United Kingdom, they have a hidden heater with no stones. And this isn't because they prefer it. This is because they've been told that this is the norm. You'll see some more questions like this. None of the saunas I've tried have any ventilation. Why are you insistent upon ventilation? Well, that's like saying, why do you want to have an enjoyable sauna experience? Of course, we all here know that a sauna should be properly ventilated. But when we're dealing with customers where our competitors are telling them a sauna doesn't need to be ventilated, or should I say, a sauna doesn't need to be ventilated, it can be quite challenging to convince people that they need to drill a hole in the side of the building to bring in fresh air and another one to ventilate it. And of course, to ventilate it properly, maybe a couple more holes as well. Isn't it just a wooden box? Why do I need insulation or a vapor ceiling? Don't you just clad the walls of the room with wooden boards? Again, we're dealing with people who simply don't know. They have not the experience of building a sauna properly. And the sad fact is that many of our customers are people who've been let down by people who have sold them a wooden clad space in their home. And the tragedy is they've paid over the odds for a space that's wooden clad that then causes issues like damp, dry rot, interstitial condensation. And then they call us in to come and fix it and do it properly. And then it's built to last 30, 40 years. And if well looked after, it could be twice that. Won't I get electrocuted and die if I pour water on the heater? I love this one. Well, maybe if you have no stones in your QS. But it's a serious point. People simply don't know. They've never heard of the term lolu. They don't know what a good sauna steam is. And in many cases, they don't know it can be enjoyable. So aren't saunas just a hot, dry heat? I don't like saunas. They're dry and stuffy. And as Yoni quite rightly pointed out, within a couple, often the buying decisions are affected heavily by the woman in the relationship. And often the case that the woman says to me, I don't like saunas. They're really hot, dry, sickening places. And of course, that's only damaging for the marketplace. What is this lolu I've been reading about? This is if they've been online, if they've done a bit of research. I usually just tolerate a sauna for 10 minutes after a workout because I read it's good for me in health magazines. So people not going to sauna because they want to enjoy the experience and they want to go back, like so many of you last night when we were coming into so many beautiful different saunas, trying different lolus and then coming out resting, some of us brave enough to jump in the lake. They're simply sat there looking at a sand timer, waiting for the experience to be over. Now, if we build beautiful, enjoyable saunas, more people will want to use them. It seems so simple to me. I don't know if you can see what that is on the right there. That's a doner kebab. Again, saunas just use infrared to heat your muscles, don't they? Well, infrared saunas do, if you can call it a sauna. They've been about for a long time. It's not a new technology, but it seems that people are pushing it more and more heavily. And actually, as an experience, people don't enjoy it. It doesn't have the same holistic benefits that Finnish Sauna does. And a lot of people are buying these because they're told it's good for them, rather than because it's something that actually is good for them or that they enjoy. My local health club has a hidden heater without any stones. We're not allowed to pour water on it and there's no ventilation. How can we trust what you are telling us? I think this one goes without saying. I've seen much cheaper sauna equipment online from China. Why does it matter if it's Finnish? Well, in my personal experience, Finnish people have a culture of, well, it's argued between 4,000 and 8,000 years of sauna experience. I think the people of Finland know how something should be built in order to endure the high stress conditions that are present within a sauna. Things, for example, like high humidity, high temperature. And again, from our experience, when you buy cheap equipment, you buy twice. And this one, I'm sure, will upset a lot of people in the room. This is not a joke. I get this quite often. You're telling me sauna is from Finland? No, I heard it's from Sweden, right? Yeah, some saunas are from Sweden. Yes, correct. Bastu is from Sweden. So can you tell what I'm here to talk about yet? Education and building standards within the industry. Not everybody, like you have in Finland, has a sauna outside of Finland. In the rest of Europe, a lot of people's experience of sauna is limited to health clubs, and what they experience is limited to what they've done since the 70s and the 80s. This lack of education is damaging to the marketplace, and in many cases it's leading to the exploitation of customers. As I said previously, there are people who are buying what they believe to be a sauna, which ends up damaging their home and causing issues with damp and rot. So these are bold claims to make, but how are they being exploited? Well, the vast majority of the British public, and from speaking to many of you here, further afield in Europe, are ignorant on these proper ways to build traditional saunas, authentic Finnish saunas, to put in proper ventilation, to put in proper vapor sealing, to have a large capacity of stones in a proper kiosque, to pour water on those stones to create lolu. And this ignorance has been exploited by companies trying to make a fast buck, or themselves being ignorant of how to do this properly. And because of this, almost every single public sauna in the UK is just something that you tolerate. And why would I build in my home something that is just meant to be tolerated? If we all do it properly, then people will buy more saunas because they will enjoy it, because they will show their friends that sauna is an enjoyable experience. And companies cutting corners creates a race to the bottom where the only people who win live in China. Because if you come from Finland, or you build in Finland, or you have a brand in Finland, you're telling the world that the quality of your product is the quality of Finland. And when you use a Finnish brand to sell Chinese products, all you do is devalue the marketplace for everybody. The public know what's good for them, but they fear this negative association with the bad saunas that they've experienced. They read about it in the UK, about the health benefits we've heard, of the cardiovascular system, of dementia prevention. They know it's good, but they've been to saunas in the UK and they go, okay, I've got to sit here, I've got to tolerate this because I know it's good for me. It's like being forced to swallow the medicine. But 100 years ago, women put arsenic on their face because they were told it made them look beautiful. So just because we're told that it's good for us doesn't mean we should do it. What we do know is that doing sauna properly is good for us, and it does have positive health benefits. We just need to do it right. Okay, so I've been on my campaign, my ideological campaign. So what can we do about it? How can we make sure that more people buy sauna, that more people enjoy the sauna experience, that more people talk about this and share this? Well, it's all about education. So in this room, there must be, 200, 300 people. If every single one of you tells a few people you know from outside of Finland about how to sauna properly and the importance of going to sauna properly, then slowly but surely things will spread and people will become aware that this is to be enjoyed. Should we introduce international standards in what a sauna is? That if you're going to start putting sauna at the end of words, it doesn't make it a sauna. For example, appellations d'origine, you can't buy champagne unless it comes from the Champagne region. Now, I'm not suggesting that every single board of every single sauna should be made in Finland, although that's what we do. What I'm saying is, if you want to call it a Finnish sauna, we should all agree on this, what that means. It's ventilated, it's insulated, it's vapor sealed, it has a kiosque with a lot of stones. Allow China to exploit the bottom end of the marketplace and focus here in Finland on quality, durability, and authenticity. So how will this solve the problem? If customers learn the truth about this experience that we are all here to enjoy, and they know that it's a healthy practice, it will be such an easy buying decision. The majority of our most fervent and most encouraged and enthused customers, they've tried the real deal. They know how good it is. And when they know how good it is, it's not even a buying decision. They're there. They've made the decision. They know they want it. They know it's good for them. They know they love it. If they're not worried that it's going to create problems in their home, if their neighbor hasn't said, oh yeah, I got one of those saunas and it caused dry rot in my roof. Yeah, if we do it properly, more people will want them. They won't be scared of installing one of these in their home. And if you have durable sauna equipment that doesn't need replacing every 2 or 3 years, people won't see it as a hassle or an inconvenience to their life. Again, if we focus on building things properly, then people will tell other people about saunas, which is where the marketplace will come from, not from a replacement marketplace, which is fueled by poor quality materials. And all in all, if more people want to try Finnish sauna, then the whole ecosystem for every single business that is here today, whether a large company producing heaters or a small company selling cosmetics, it will be a better, healthier ecosystem for every single one of you. And in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, I will be stood on a stage in front of 2,000 people interested in Finnish sauna. So to put it bluntly, are you guys here with the solution, or will you continue to be part of the problem? Will you put your energy into ensuring that the public is properly educated about sauna culture in a holistic way, in a way that is not motivated by the bottom line of profit, but by the experience and the positive benefits that it brings to people's lives? Are you here to benefit the whole marketplace for everybody in this room? Or are you going to compete to the bottom line to exploit the marketplace to create a tragedy of the commons? I have a dream. I have a dream where every man, woman, child knows what lolu is and that sauna comes from Finland and that it's pronounced correctly. I have a dream where I need never sit in an unventilated sauna without any stones. I have a dream where every sauna is built properly and people are not scared to own them or to use them. I have a dream where all the best sauna equipment is made in Finland and Finland remains the mainstay for quality sauna construction and materials, where every good piece of sauna equipment is made by Finnish hands, supporting Finnish jobs, Finnish businesses, Finnish people and the Finnish economy. I simply put, I have a dream, a simple dream, where everyone knew of the amazing experience that is sauna, to do it properly, the Finnish way. Thank you.
Jake Newport. Okay, do you have any questions for him at this point? Yes.
Jake, thank you very much for your brilliant job for important topic. But I really need to understand what happened to the British gentleman who turned out to be a huge fan of Finnish sauna.
Thank you. Well, I came to Finland. I was working in Finland. I was spending a lot of time outside, working where there's a lot of, how do you call them, parma, a lot of insect biting, for a week at a time, camping outside. And I started meeting up with friends and they would say, come, try, have a sauna. And I was like, oh, do I really? I don't know. I heard you guys all get naked and it's all really, I've tried them before, they're really dry and horrible. And I went into many, many saunas and I was converted. I saw the amazing experience that is Finnish sauna. I was going from sauna to cold plunge and I thought to myself, why is this not everywhere in the UK? Why doesn't everybody do this? And I started actually just selling equipment. And then I went to almost every single sauna company in the UK and asked them if they would buy proper Finnish sauna equipment. And they normally would say either, we already have a supplier, fair enough, that's a difficult one to shift, or we make more money. Why would we buy proper Finnish sauna equipment that lasts 30 years when we can sell 10 3-year heaters in the same amount of time? And whilst I was there, I was looking in their workshops and I was saying, so where's the ventilation for this sauna? Where's the vents going? And they were like, not my problem. Saunas don't need ventilation anyway. And I would be like, okay, well, where's the vapor ceiling? You're going to cause damage in somebody's home here. And they were like, yeah, but then we can rip it out and sell another one. And I've realized first that this is a really depressing realization, that you can't, for a salesperson, you can't sell anything. Great, well done. Then I realized the reason I can't sell anything is because people were fixated at facilitating a marketplace that was literally cash grab and run. You know, fit it, don't worry about it. In a few years' time, it will cause a problem, but the warranty will have expired, so it's not my problem. And I realized that if we focus on doing it properly, show people and educate people about the amazing experience that Finnish Sauna is, and have a brand based entirely on durability, on authenticity of product, and the quality of what we do, then in 5 years, we will have a strong, healthy brand. And 5 years later, I'm stood here at the World Sauna Forum talking to you, and we are dealing with high net worth individuals, celebrities, but also selling equipment to the DIY market. So we're not an exclusive brand. If you want sauna for yourself and you can't afford to have the luxury of a sauna design, you can still buy everything you need for an authentic Finnish sauna.
They are ready to go to Scientology. It can be too difficult to get them to go to sauna.
Exactly. There's worse things to try.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
So as a Finn living in the UK and with a mission to build a grassroots movement of sauna enthusiasts in the country, it's just like highlight Jake's being an exceptional businessman engaging with the community. So someone who always gives time and energy to the community and scale and never expecting immediate return in business terms. So I'd like to encourage everyone in the room to think what their business can do for the sauna culture.
Yeah, I think this is a really important point, and I think if there's anybody sat in this room right now who is purely in the industry for the monetary benefit, if you're sat there and you don't believe in sauna, and you don't, I mean, I go to sauna 2 to 3 times per week and have a wood-burning sauna. In the UK, in the busy lifestyle, I mean, for all of you, know it's a commitment to get a fire going, to make it go. But I do it because I love it. I do it because I enjoy it. And if you want your customers to love and enjoy their product, then you have to love and enjoy it. If you don't, then you make more money in banking, so...
Is it at your home, the sauna?
Is it? Yeah, in my garden.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I have one in my parents' house, which is really nice, with a beautiful view of the mountains. And then I have one in mine, which is a bit more, how do you say, cobbler's shoes? Huh?
What's that?
So like cobblers always have the worst shoes because they spend all their time building shoes for other people.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Okay, is that all? You have a question?
No, I have a comment. I'm proud to present this is our first international member of Sauna from Finland.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Actually, we have another one here in the room. It's called Metos from Japan.
And can I just say, finally, a massive thank you to everybody who's made this possible. It's been a really fantastic event. There's so many amazing people here. I'd love to speak to you all afterwards at the pop-up saunas and around. Special thanks to Alina and Karita and all the ladies from Sauna from Finland, and Pekka, the guy. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.